when your woman turns to you and says, I've never loved you, you've been a controlling, emotionally abusive asshole our whole relationship, I'm leaving you, of course our instincts are going to go ape shit. Like, of course, right? And so
quite literally ape shit.
yeah, exactly, right? So this work incorporates both of those things, and I 1,000% agree with you. And like I often say, it's left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. Where all of us have both of these sides to ourselves. So we have our egoic side, we have our instinctual, our body, our flesh, the Freudian eat, kill, fuck, stay alive ego. Okay,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
Freud documented that quite well, right? Kill and fuck. Those are the two motivations. And basically that means don't die, stay alive, and procreate. Like, that's our egoic instinctual drive. Welcome to humanity. Every one of us has those drives, right? And then there's our philosophical, our spiritual, our higher self, our consciousness, whatever word you want to use, our other side of ourself that, in my opinion, makes us part of human as well. Welcome to the other side, the enlightened part, the consciousness, the spirit, the philosophical, being able to understand, the thinking about our thinking, right? The other part of us. And so, yes. And by the way, if you have no spiritual I grew up with no religious or spiritual or values-based awareness. It was all like, just get good grades, eat your Lucky Charms, and like show up for football practice, play games with friends, and then, oh shit, I have to go to college. That was my basically existence, my values-based existence. Drink Mountain Dew, fucking, like
Yeah.
whatever, watch the A-Team and the Smurfs on TV and shit like that. I had no spiritual values-based existence. And that this ego-based is never ultimately fulfilling, right? The caveman stuff keeps us alive, keeps us fucking and killing and putting food on the table and that stuff. Or you could go be a monk in the Himalayas and swear off women and wear your robes with the stitching on the inside so it purposefully rubs against your body, so you're constantly in awe of the suffering of life. This is like literally what Buddhists do. They beg for their one meal a day, and after they eat it before 10:30 in the morning, and they don't eat the rest of the day, and they sleep on a 1-inch mat on the cement. Like, this is when I visited Southeast Asia. So you can go do that, but that's not who we are. That's not the man that I am, and that's not who we want to be in the Western world today. We want to bring both of those in, right? So yes, that was me getting on my soapbox a little bit, that all of this work, everything in our lives has both of those pieces. Am I a cutthroat businessman that just, scalps every dollar that I can? Do I give away all my services and go work for a nonprofit and like hope to put food on the table for my family? I was a teacher. I made very little money when I was a teacher, but I did it as a stage in my life to grow the man I wanted to be in the soul depth that I was. So with all that said, I'll get off my soapbox now. Where do you feel that you are in the conscious responses of your instinctual self instead of just knee-jerk reactions?
Prior to this work, prior to the I need space request, I would say I was much more towards the ego, knee-jerk, primal response guy. Even though I considered myself at the time very kind of spiritually aware, and I meditated and I watched self-help videos and all these kind of things. I was. It's amazing to think back at yourself even 6 months ago and be like, wow, I've changed a lot since then. I've been so much more aware now. But yeah, much more knee jerk, especially in the pressure cooker of the past couple of years. But doing the work now, maybe I'm not fully balanced yet, but there was a moment, perfect example right now. She was freaking out about something. Somebody she knew passed away from some syndrome, and she's like, do we have this syndrome? We might have it in our family. Do we genetically have this? And maybe the kids have it. Should we get tested for it? Can you look at it? She was like totally having one of those moments. And in the past, I would have been like, what's your problem? Why are you freaking out? I would have kind of like matched her energy and let her lead that emotional, journey of that moment. instead I was just totally calm, and I was like, no, I really appreciate your concern that for our children, and that's it's great. I'll look into it. And then I said something else. I can't remember specifically what I said, um, but her response. She paused for a second. Her response was, "All right, thanks, Buddha."
Yeah, dude.
And I was
Nice.
like, all right, she's doing the sarcastic response to my growth here, but that's okay. That's part of her figuring out